Hey, hello, what is up guys? It's Jamie, aka the Fun Economist, coming at you guys today with a step-by-step guide to help you guys win more of your bidding wars. Now, this is a video that I've been meaning to do for a while now, but I think it's especially relevant right now because of the current effectiveness of some of the trading methods that actually rely specifically on you guys going out and winning your bidding wars. Those include the silver trading method, or pretty much any silver trading method, and then the team of the season cornering of the market trading method. So that's why I made this video. Let's go ahead and get into the methods. So as you guys can see, I've laid out a step-by-step guide that you guys can follow to make sure that you guys are winning the highest number of your bidding wars at the best possible profit margin. Now, just to give you guys a general idea of these specific steps before we go into them in depth, the first thing that you're going to want to do when you're making a bid on a card is identify the level of competition surrounding that card. Once you've done that, you're going to identify whether or not there is a competitive bid placed on that card already, and then you're going to combine those two factors and you're going to get one of the 8 specific tactics that I've laid out for you guys to make sure that you guys are putting in the best possible bid on that card. So going in depth into step 1, you're first going to have to identify the level of competition surrounding your card. I divided things up into 3 different levels of card competition, and those are high, medium, and low. Now your card is going to be a high level of competition, most likely if it's a rare or non-rare gold card that is traded in high volumes. Good indications of this include if there is a ton of these cards listed on the market at any given time, and if it's a relatively low price. Those are 2 good indications that this card is constantly being traded and there are constantly people watching it, making bids on it. Your card is most likely going to fall into the medium level of competition if it's a silver or gold special card, so that's going to include Team of the Seasons, Informs, International Man of the Matches, etc, etc. It's also probably going to be medium if it's a silver or rare silver that is in a popular league, so like the British Premier League or the Bundesliga. It's also probably going to be in the medium category if it's a very high rated rare gold card that's going for an expensive price that is probably out of the range of a lot of most people's budgets. So for example, Lionel Messi is a good example of a medium competition card. So the low category is pretty much going to include everything else. So that's going to include, the bronze and silver special cards, especially if they're in bad leagues, and it's even going to include some of the gold special cards, especially if they're in bad leagues and if they're low rated and probably don't have a very high demand. Now, if your card does not fall into any of those categories, there is a good chance that it is a consumable. And if that's the case, there is a completely different section for it and categorize it as such. One important thing to note before we move on is that these competition levels are set assuming that you're trading during the day. If you're trading at night, then there's a good chance that they'll actually be moved down a whole notch level. So a high competition level will be actually a medium and a medium will be a low. Now for those of you that are asking, Jamie, you promised us so many times that you're going to do a day and night, time zone sort of video, and I promise that is coming up. I'm probably recording it at the time that you're watching this video right now, but for now, just base it off of the UK times and the US times. When those 2 countries are asleep, there's a good chance that it's probably nighttime. Now onto the easiest step of them all, and that is identifying whether or not there is a competitive bid placed on the card already. The easiest thing to do is to look at a card, and if it doesn't have a bid on it at all, obviously there is not a competitive bid placed on it, so you can just classify it as such. But if there is a bid placed on it, you have one of 2 things to consider. The first is how close that bid is actually to the lowest buy now, and then 2, the number of iterations away that bid is from the lowest buy now. So for example, if there's a card going for the lowest buy now at 1,300 coins, and there is a current bid on that card at 1,100 coins, that is going to be a competitive bid because it is within 4 iterations of the lowest buy now. So an iteration would be 1,300 down to 1,200, that's 1 iteration. 1,200 to 1,100, that's 2 iterations, so that's 2 away. And if it was within 4 iterations, so all the way down to 900 coins, then that would mean it's a competitive bid. But if someone was bidding at 800 coins, then it's no longer a competitive bid. I would consider that a non-competitive bid, someone that's just putting it on their bid right there just to keep it on their transfer targets. Once you've classified it as either a non-competitive or competitive bid, I want you to identify your comfort price. And when I say comfort price, that is the price that you're comfortable at getting this card at. So for example, if you're bidding on a card at 1,300, your comfort price is probably going to be 1,100. That's the price that you don't want to bid higher than it, but you would be comfortable getting it at that because you can still turn around and make a profit. For most medium to low price cards, your comfort price is usually going to be an position where you can make about 50 to 500 coins of profit. Any below that, and you're probably not going to win that card. Anything above that, and obviously you're going to be losing money, so that's definitely what you're going to want to do. For something that's a high rated, high price card, usually your comfort price is going to be within about 1,000 to 5,000 coins, depending on how expensive it is. Most of the time, you're probably not going to make about 5,000 coins unless it's a super high price player, some of the team of the seasons that we might be bidding on with some of those other methods. But once you've identified that, stick to that comfort price, don't bid over it, and sort of stick firm to that, because that's going to be important with our trading methods later. So now let's talk about the different tactics that you're going to use with the competitive bid placed on it at the different levels of competition. So obviously, if there's a high rated card, the first thing you're going to do is identify that card and then wait till the 28th second to make your bid at your comfort price. Now the reason I say the 28th second is because that effectively gives your opponent the least amount of time to respond. If you make a bid at any second lower than that time, so say you make a bid at the 22nd second, that will actually reset the time back to the 28th second, because that's something that EA just automatically does with their bidding wars. And by bidding at the 28th second, you've effectively given your opponent the least amount of time to respond, which can actually be pretty effective because he might miss it if he's bidding on other cards at the moment or doing other trading methods, and you have a higher chance of winning. Another tactic that you can use with these high competition cards is the distraction technique. And this works because usually with these high competition cards, there are 2 or 3 cards that are going across the trade block at any given time that are worthy of being bid on. So the outline of this method is that you're going to distract the rest of the market, the rest of your competition, with a bid on the first card that's going across the block. So the way to do that is actually to wait until the last second to make your sort of counter bid, and that way these people are being stalled and looking at this card for the longest time possible. While that's going on, you're going to want to be simultaneously making bids on the cards that are following up, and while that card is sort of expiring, the first card is expiring. And I want you to bid at your comfort price right away on these cards, so that these people are going to look at these cards over here, the cards that you're bidding on, and say, well, someone's already bid those up, I don't want to bid on these, I want to focus on the first card, because it looks like there's somehow a chance that I'm going to win this at a cheaper price. But what you're really doing is you're just stalling. Bonus points for if you win that card, but in reality, the main purpose of stalling with that card is to make sure that you can get your other 2 cards or 3 cards or whatever it is into the trade block and pass the trade block before anyone else notices. Now with these medium level competition cards, I recommend employing the 28th second technique again, and then any times after that you have room to make another bid on it under your comfort price, I recommend actually waiting until the last second before making a bid on it again. And what that'll do is oftentimes people that are trying to trade with these medium level cards are usually just trying to make a profit, and you can sort of frustrate or distract these players by bidding on it at the last possible second, and hopefully you guys can win that bid. Now for the low level, if it has a competitive bid placed on it already, it's actually the same exact thing as the medium level competition. Make a bid on it at the 28th second, and then any leeway room that you have underneath that competitive price, just make a bid on it at the last second, and hopefully you can frustrate your opponent away. Now if it's a consumable with a competitive bid placed on it already, it's probably not worth spending any additional time on it. So what I would do is just make a bid on it at your comfort price, and then just moving on. Sort of mass bidding on these cards is most likely the most effective way to go about it. Okay, so now this is where things start to get a little bit interesting, and that is if there's no bid at all or a non-competitive bid placed on one of the cards that you're trying to win. And if there is a high level of competition surrounding your card, I recommend making a bid 2 iterations below your comfort price. And the reason that I want to do this is to first get rid of any price vultures or any people that are out looking to make super big profit on any of your cards, and they would actually add that card to their transfer list if they see that there's a huge margin between the buy now price and the bid price. And by making this bid 2 iterations below your comfort price, you're effectively weeding out a lot of those people that are going to be looking to make bids on that card but are going to be discouraged because they see that someone's already made a bid on it. Now, why do you ask 2 iterations below? And the reason for that is so that if you get counterbid once, then you can still counterbid again back up to your comfort price. If you did it like 3 iterations below and you got counterbid, then you bid, then someone can actually outbid you up to your counter price. So you're going to want to make sure that you're either 4 iterations below, 2 iterations below, and sort of multiples of 2, so that when you counterbid, you're going to end up on your comfort price. So if you've identified your card as a medium level of competition, I want you just to first place a watcher bid. This is just a bid that's going to be very, very low. It's going to be nowhere near your comfort price if possible, and this is just to let other people know that you're watching this card. It's not going to be a free pickup for anyone that's going out and trading. That'll hopefully scare away a couple of the people that are potential competition. Then you're going to want to make sure as the time expires that you're watching this card closely, because as soon as someone outbids you, you're going to want to place multiple counter bids in top of that. So as soon as someone outbids you, place a counter bid, and then counter bid yourself one more time. And that'll simulate a sort of bidding war, and hopefully what's going to happen is that person's going to get counter bid once, they're going to get, oh, okay, well now I'll make my counter bid, and then they're going to see once they place the counter bid that they've actually been outbid again, and they can't actually make it. It's going to say, you know, transfer or bid not able to complete because, you know, the listing has been overpriced, or whatever it says that error says when EA has told you that your price can't be accepted. And hopefully that's going to scare someone away, thinking, well, geez, like there is so much competition for this card, I'm just gonna back off. I'm trying to make profit. My time is better spent somewhere else. Now, this bidding simulation technique is even more effective if you use it on the low level of competition, because I would say like 75 to 80% of the time, people are only bidding on these cards trying to make a profit. Most of the time, the people that are going out and looking to actually buy these cards are going to get them on a buy now because they don't have the patience to wait like 15 minutes until the next card that's, you know, competitive goes across the market. So if it's a consumable, there's actually sort of two techniques. If it's a very low price consumable like a contract or, you know, a fitness card, I'd recommend just bidding right away at your comfort price. If it's a high price consumable like a squad fitness or a you know, plus 15 pace card, I would recommend bidding 2 iterations below your comfort price, and then if you get outbid again, then you can actually bid at your comfort price if you do get outbid, and hopefully you can go on and win it. So those are the basic tactics that I've lined out for you guys based off those 2 factors that we've identified for ourselves. But before we move on to the method that we can use to actually take advantage of these tactics, I do want to give you guys some additional tips. The first of which is you definitely have to be cognizant of the fact that you are bidding at different times of the day, and that the competition level is going to be drastically different depending on what time of the day you're bidding on. The second is to make sure that you're using FUTBin to check prices so that you don't get distracted from a potential deal. And then the third is don't get competitive. Identify your comfort price and then stick to it. Don't go above it just because someone else been outbidding you and you kind of want to win that war against them. If someone outbids you above your comfort price, just think, okay, well, they're going to lose money, and just be done with it and move on to the next deal. So the method that I have for you guys today that you guys can use to go out and practice your bid war techniques is probably one of the more popular silver trading methods out there, and it's actually really effective right now because of the amount of people opening silver packs. So go ahead and set your quality to silver, your league to the Barclays Premier League, and then your max price to 2,500. Now you can use any of the leagues that are popular for silver trading, so Barclays Premier League, Liga BBVA, Bundesliga, Serie A, etc., etc. Now once you've done that, you're going to want to go ahead and set your minimum buy now to 5,000, and essentially what that's going to do is it's going to weed out any of the cards that have been listed competitively. So any of the cards that are listed within one iteration of their minimum bid, that's going to weed them out, and it's only going to get the cards shown up to you that are pretty much listed right out of the pack at the default price, and that's going to make it really, really easy to get some bids in. So once you do that, search them up on the market, and you're going to scroll through, look with FUTBin open on the side, looking for any cards that are listed below, you know, what you think they should be going for, and then you're going to add them to your transfer list, and then come back later and make a bid on them using some of the techniques. So I've actually got an example queued up for you guys right here, and it's this eBay card. I've actually set my comfort price at 1,000 coins, so I'm going to go ahead and do the fake bidding price right now. So we've actually just gotten outbid right there. I'm going to bid again, and then I'm going to bid again, simulate a bidding war, and hopefully I can actually scare away my competitive here. Basically, I've set my comfort price at 1,000 coins, so if I can get them at 950 coins, I will be definitely satisfied with that, because I sort of reasoned it out that I'll be able to sell it on at 1,200 coins. Now, see right there, it's actually looked like it's probably worth it. If he does outbid me again, I'm going to wait until the last second to outbid him again, and then that's going to be the last bid that I make. We're wrapping it up here. 3, 2, 1... Okay, we won it. So as you guys can see, I guess the tactic actually worked there. I won this eBay at 950 coins, which is actually 50 coins below my comfort price, which I've set for myself. And I think it's, partially, at least partially due to the fact that I simulated a bidding war and probably scared away some of my competition, who basically sort of thought to themselves, well, it's probably not worth it if all these people are bidding it at the same time. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and trade with this method for an hour, come back to you guys and tell you guys how I did, and then I'll give away the coins that I made during that hour to you guys.
A few inches later.
Okay, so it's been an hour and I was able to make 8K for you guys. I did most of my trading in the Serie A and the Bundesliga because I was actually finding that the Barclays Premier League has a ton of competition. I'm recording this midday, and I think the level of competition was closer to high. So some of the methods and effective tactics that I was thinking about using for the medium and low, which is actually where you can find most of your leeway and sort of manipulate the system, make it so that you win more bids, wasn't really working in that league. So I actually switched over to the other leagues and found some more success. If you guys do want to be entered to win that 8K, all you gotta do is like the video, be subscribed to the channel, and then answer today's comment question of the day. Today's comment question of the day is, which would you rather have, 100,000 followers on Facebook or 100,000 followers on Twitter? That's sort of a weird question, but I'm really curious to see what you guys have to think about that. I would personally have 100,000 followers on Twitter because I think there is a more of a personal connection that you can have with your followers on Twitter than on Facebook, but I don't know, I don't really use Facebook a whole lot for like personal use, so maybe I could be wrong. I don't really know. Just let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. We also do have to announce the winner of the giveaway from the 9K giveaway on the 26th. That video, I actually asked you guys for questions for my Q&A, which should be coming out on Tuesday. You guys asked me a lot of sort of interesting questions and some interesting tasks. So the winner of that was actually Connor Davis. So congratulations, you've won 9K. Keep your YouTube message box open. I will be messaging you shortly about how to get you your coins, or you can hit me up with a DM on Twitter. I'll leave a link to that down in my description. If you guys have liked this video, I would really appreciate a like rating. It took a lot of effort to put together for you guys, but other than that, it's been Jamie, aka the Economist. Keep your trade piles full, stay rational, and I'll see you on Tuesday for another video.